Right, we're back, and as we've said, we've got this packed schedule, looking at so many different specialized master's programs. This one was really interesting to me as we think about, the war for talent, the sort of careers of the future, combining both business analytics with cybersecurity. Now that has to be a sweet spot, and I'm delighted to welcome Lisa Beauchesne-Lawson, who is the manager of admissions at the University of New Mexico and the Anderson School. And with her, a graduate of that program, Cody Carsten. Cody is a senior information systems engineer, project manager at Sandia National Laboratories, and followed his program, and you'll find out about how it's really accelerated his career trajectory. But thanks both of you for joining us. And perhaps Lisa, we'll start with you and a little bit of the background of UNM, and then developing this suite of programs that really sort of matches current market demand, but also fits into the lives of busy working professionals.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much, Matt, for having us. So a little bit about the University of New Mexico as a whole. We are located in the rich Southwest area of the United States in Albuquerque, New Mexico, where we have some really great attractions like the balloon fiesta, some tourism, the largest ballooning event in the world, and also known for art, and then also, national security. So here in New Mexico, we have 2 national laboratories, including Sandia that you mentioned, and also locally here in Albuquerque, in Air Force Base. So healthcare, government, energy sectors are really dominant industries here in New Mexico. Anderson School at the University of New Mexico supports the region economically, as a top business school in the state. And we're also known for the specializations that we're talking about today, cybersecurity, business analytics, as well as things like project management and accounting and some different MBA programs that we offer. But across all of our 8 graduate programs at Anderson School, we have more than a 50% female population, which we're very proud of. We're also a Research 1 institution as a whole, and then a Hispanic serving institution and minority serving institution as well. So we're very well known for our diversity, as well as our different sectors, different areas to support national security in the state of New Mexico, which is where the MS in cybersecurity and business analytics kind of grew, starting back in 2014, and really kind of differentiating the tracks between cybersecurity and business analytics to really give our students some differentiation and more technical skill set, while also kind of combining the soft skills that are expected from an AACSB accredited institution as ours.
Right. Now, with that balloon festival, I'd be tempted, of course, to have my Zoom background of that early morning blue sky, but yours is equally valid in terms of celebrating women's history. Great to hear that you've got that sort of gender balance. If we'd had this conversation 10 years ago, Lisa, and we often talk about careers of the future, we didn't have masters in cybersecurity. Was this really, that context that you're describing that's very specific to New Mexico and Albuquerque, and understanding these emerging issues around cyber?
Yeah, and I would say, for us, it's came with some of our really tight connections with faculty, between faculty and our laboratories, and really those, those 3-letter agencies that we have here in New Mexico, that we really found sort of that niche area that was just a really high need that Cody has experience in, as well as an alum here, that we've found ourselves sort of needing that balance in the industry here, and which is why this program has really developed. Coming from a more technical concentration in an MBA program, which is really more commonly known at business schools, to then really pulling out some of those technical skills to provide to our students, which was needed in the industry. So,
got it. So Cody, as a proud undergraduate of UNM, and maybe dreams of a career heading towards finance, other options. what was the pull for you as you were thinking about next steps? You know, you could return to school, lots of different options at Anderson and beyond, but what was it that really drew you to the program, and how's that played out?
Yeah, so it's kind of a funny story, right? I get into at the University of New Mexico, and I start the finance degree. I'm dreaming Wall Street. I'm dreaming finance. I want to do investments. I want to do all that. But as I got into the coursework, I noticed that it wasn't necessarily for me. I love personal finance. I love 401ks. How can I, build my own wealth? But the corporate side, the corporate finance, the bottom lines, the budgeting, that stuff wasn't necessarily for me. I was working at Sandia as an undergrad intern in the finance side, and didn't necessarily fall in love with it. Didn't see myself doing that long term. So I actually got introduced to the IT side while working as an intern. That's what's great about Sandia out here is you can really kind of move and pivot to different careers by just reaching out and having different mentors, various mentors throughout the laboratory. And so got exposed to IT, and towards the end of my undergrad was focused on those 3 or 4 MIS classes. I didn't necessarily get the discipline, didn't get the degree, but kind of fell in love with that. And so when I was choosing my graduate program, I wanted to, I felt like I had a solid base. I had a solid foundation in business. I had the tech, or the business skills, the soft skills, through my internship and through UNM. And so when I was choosing the MSISA program, or the MSCBA now, at that time it was MSISA, I noticed that I could waive those business classes and focus primarily on the technical, right? And this was something, being behind, I didn't have a computer science degree, I didn't have the MIS degree. So I knew I needed to really push into the technical space. And so I was lucky enough to receive a scholarship for the MSISA program, or the MSCBA. I have to keep slipping up there, but the MSCBA program, and was able to, stay on at UNM, stay on at Sandia as a graduate intern, and kind of push into the technical side of Sandia and work into the IT environment.
Well, hopefully that personal investment plan that you have is taking care of itself. But what a difference it makes to actually be, doing work that you're really passionate and interested in.
Absolutely.
Lisa, Cody sort of talks about, backgrounds. He made that transition, and obviously with the sort of determination. Often you're looking for individuals that do have a degree, perhaps in business, accounting, computer science, ITIS, engineering. So in terms of the course and its quant focus, or that sort of analytical side, what are your guidelines in terms of those sort of backgrounds that are really then going to thrive and flourish in the program?
Yeah, that's a good question. So we are looking for students or applicants who have either a business or a technical background. We have opened it up a little bit to more STEM based, but there is a quant background absolutely needed in order to succeed in this program. We also look for applicants who have could be a very basic programming knowledge, just for that problem solving skill set that's needed in these technical classes as well. And so a kind of a combination of the business and technical. But as Cody alluded to, somebody from a business background may have a little bit of a different set of courses that they're able to take to really build upon that more technical skill set that they need. Whereas somebody, for example, coming from computer science or computer engineering type background, they're really going to need to build that soft skills as well as the technical background. So there's a little bit of flexibility in the curriculum to really kind of shape it and customize it depending on the interest beyond the degree, but also the skill set coming into the degree to really shape that skill set needed.
Now, forgive me, Cody, but your parents kind of saw this one coming in terms of their choice of your first name. In terms of coding skills and the learning experience that you've had, how did you then think about choosing classes and the fact that you were with Sandia in the national laboratories? Did that also give you an immediate sense of the practical application of the classes that you were taking?
Absolutely. And so again, I did have a lot of mentors that had gone through this program before I graduated or before I decided to take the course or the courses. And what I think was different about this, and when I went to select my courses, is it did range. It was technical courses ranging from introduction courses to more advanced courses. So if you wanted to go down the digital or the cybersecurity track, you're going to look at more advanced information systems, more the digital forensic side. But if you wanted to do database, they have a route, right? So you start with the basics, you start with the intro to database, and then you can go up to the more advanced classes. There's the topic courses. So where I was lucky is that I did have a little bit of coding experience in the undergrad when I took the MIS, on my own learn a little bit of Python so that I was better prepared. I still got into grad school and thought, whoa, what am I doing? Why did I decide to do this? Finance was my first love, and what am I doing? But, with the way that it's laid out and the professors that they have there, I never felt like I was gonna fail or sink in the program. And specifically with the coding, I think the professors do help a lot if you just aren't getting the concepts as quickly as some of the others. So I always felt at home there, and that they were going to take advantage or help me progress through the program.
We've had a stark reminder, Lisa, in the last 2 weeks in particular of threats to national security, cyber, at a geopolitical level. So as an individual that's thinking about, well, I could do accounting that's been around for years versus, cybersecurity, business analytics, this ability to make sense of data and put it to practical application. How do you then sort of advise individuals as they're looking for the right program for them, also taking into account the flexibility, 3 semesters, Cody took 4 semesters as he was working?
Yeah, so I would say to take a look at the benefits of both. The benefits of our MSCBA program are really based on that career potential and skill set that you can take away for specific career tracks, and also the potential to really make a difference for your company or for your country. We are well aligned to position our graduates with, analyst roles, with data manager roles, specialist positions in cybersecurity, where the MBA, somebody who's looking at, an MBA or a specialized degree, where an MBA is very broad scope in core business fundamentals, and the MS program is more focused on the specific, the details within sort of that niche area. And so both, I think, degrees really incorporate the soft skills, the problem solving, the looking at it from a leadership perspective that are expected, from an institution like ours. But the MS program really provides that additional, specific, deeper skill set and problem solving and unique kind of projects. I think it's very project based, and so that really gives students some extra layers of skills and experience to position themselves in a very high need area.
Right. So Cody, you successfully came through the program with the grit and the determination on that Python learning curve that you described. As you then look back, not just at what you learned and perhaps, sharing a couple of standout moments in the class, but even in terms of the mirror of what you learned about yourself. You'd made this investment in I'm going back to grad school. I'm going to get my master's degree. So as you look back on that, Python's done. You master that now. What are your sort of reflections both on the professional boost that it's given you, but also at a personal development level?
Yeah, so on the personal level, 100% just challenging myself and really, going from one extreme to the other. It was a personal thing for me. Again, like I told you in the last answer, I got in there and I was like, oh, this is tough stuff. I don't know if I'm prepared for this, but I don't think that this program is ever going to, I would say that this program 100% helped me gain confidence in knowing that I could learn anything and apply any of my skill sets to the program or to my career. Without this program, I recently just got a new job in vulnerability management at Sandia doing cybersecurity. And so without this program and without some of the capstone course projects that I took within this program, I wouldn't have even been able to ever dream of getting a job like that. And so Lisa had touched upon the course projects, and this is a very project heavy program. And one of the projects that I always have to shout out, and I'm going to do it here, is the course project that we did for information assurance. It was a full vulnerability assessment of a local organization here in Albuquerque. And we got to do physical pen testing. We got to do social engineering. We got to do network pen testing, those type of things against an organization that allows you to take all of what you were learning and really apply your skills. And so without something like that, without this program, without the professors, I just don't know where I would be. I'd probably be doing budget work at Sandia, more on the finance side. So again, I do think as far as a growth standpoint, it helped me just progress tenfold in a short amount of time. I went from in 2015, when did I graduate? 2017, I graduated undergrad and I was doing finance. And now in 2022, I have a cybersecurity job. So again, this program is the integral piece of that.
Right. And in that senior project manager role that you've now secured, and congratulations on that sort of accelerated growth.
Yeah.
But sort of over the next 5-10 years, you've demonstrated, you've made this pivot. Yeah. How do you feel that it's going to continue to support you, through the subsequent stages of your career development?
Yeah. So, I started in that IT. Can you repeat the question one more time? Sorry,
already you've seen the impact with your senior product manager role, project manager role. How do you think, 5 years, 10 years from now, it's going to continue to contribute to that growth and development?
Yeah. So I started the IT project management role, directly out of school. And that was because of the technical background. So the core concepts that I learned, I would say that where it will help me progress and where UNM, this is more UNM and the business program, will help me progress outside of just this role and into a management role and those things, is the soft skills in learning the business side, learning the different ways to lead a project, to understand the requirements in front of you. And with the project heavy coursework in grad school, coupled with the soft skills I learned in undergrad, I do, hopefully see myself in 5-10 years in a management role here at Sandia, because Sandia's got a grasp on me. I definitely love the organization. And like Lisa alluded to, there's a lot of organizations out here that are similar, and there's going to be a need. And I think that this program will continue to feed that skill set that we're looking for. And I'm always looking for them too, as far as interns and students that are interested in either making the transition from the business side into the more technical side, or if they're already technical and trying to get into a role at Sandia. So
we said before we started recording that I think you're going to get a lot of LinkedIn requests to connect with you.
And I am always willing.
Lisa, what a great ambassador for the program. So, thinking about the ROI on this Cybersecurity and Business Analytics Masters, in the space of a year, graduates averaging salaries around $75,000. Our viewers are thinking that this is such a relevant area and job prospects. What are your expectations in terms of growing demand for the program in the years ahead?
Yeah, that's a great question. I would say, just to speak to that salary, average salary, ours, since the start of the program has ranged generally higher than that, starting out a bit higher than the 75. I think the lowest initial in any given graduation term was about 77 on average for our graduates. And so we, it is a skill set that's high needed and has a higher starting salary, I think, than the majority of some of the other career options. But yeah, I would expect the demand to continue to increase. It's trending upwards at our institution here. We're continuing to see that increase. Data security is very complex and changing, and so we have to continue changing with that demand as well. So. And we've made, in terms of our program in particular, we've, made our degree more accessible. When Cody attended, it was, some online coursework and some face-to-face coursework. And now we've made an option for a 100% remote asynchronous option that will work for, somebody that wants to attend full-time or part-time. But we do expect an increase, especially given the Bureau of Labor Statistics showing an increase in these, information security analyst type positions. They're showing, 32% and higher growth in those areas. So we expect that to continue to be a high need at our institution.
So Cody, take me back to just before you joined the program. There you were at Sandy. You're in your comfort zone, but this determination. I'm going to go back to school, and I'm going to juggle, my work commitments, studying. So, what would your advice be to our viewers that are, thinking about, hey, I'm comfortable where I am right now, but just how you can make the difference with the sort of determination that you've shown?
Yeah, I think looking back on that decision, it was having a career goal in mind and knowing where I wanted to be after a graduate program. So when I decided between an MBA or this program, it was, do I want to stay in my comfort zone and do what I already, the MBA program touches on some of the stuff that you were learning in your BBA program, or do I want to go out of my comfort zone and really progress my career and couple those two together? So when I decided, at that time, I thought, okay, this is going to make me the most attractive to external companies if I didn't stay at Sandia. But I think the biggest thing is having a career goal in mind. This program is not for everyone. It isn't, and it did take a lot of determination and self. I had to work on myself to make sure I could get through this program. So I think having a career goal in mind that aligns with this cybersecurity or business analytics, data analytics field is a big determining factor. And if you're ready to put your skill set and your drive and really drive home the points that you're learning in this, I think that you can go anywhere outside of even the organizations that we have here in Albuquerque. So.
Well, I was going to say, just to sort of finish on that last point, in terms of going anywhere, there you have on your doorstep Sandia, the national labs and just an entire sort of ecosystem around you. But these demands, they're nationwide, they're global. So, I mean, your sense, you're very happy where you are, but, graduates coming out of the program are then going to have options all across the country.
Absolutely. And so a lot of my individuals that were in the courses with me have gone all over. People end up in DC. There's tons of jobs in DC right now. And you can go anywhere with the curriculum that they're offering here at UNM. So I know people that have gone to the New York Stock Exchange, and they're doing cybersecurity work for them. So again, it isn't just the Sandia life. It's not just Albuquerque, and we are very blessed and lucky to have it out here. But yeah, it's everywhere. You can go globally. Obviously, we see in these times where cybersecurity and vulnerability defense is extremely important. And so again, it definitely has a very large impact outside of just Albuquerque and New Mexico.
Well, DC has, cool fireworks on the 4th of July, but you guys have the Balloon Festival. In terms of next steps, Lisa, so viewers that are looking at this and it just resonates with them, what is the best way of them, getting in touch with you and the school and just finding out if this program is the right next step for them?
Yeah, so we have a number of ways to engage with us. We have events that are specific for the MSCBA program. So we have information sessions. We have one-on-one chats with our admission professionals, and you can contact me directly for information, and I can help facilitate a start. We do have 5 start times per year because of how accessible and online this program is. We admit at 5 different points during the year. So as kind of an accelerated format that we've created, we have 8-week terms for our courses now, and which helps somebody start and finish as quickly as they'd like. So our website has links to our application and to our admissions pages, where you can find the links to our events as well. So, which I'm happy to provide that website, which is mgt.unm.edu. That's where our Anderson page is, and where you can find information about how to get started and the application process as well. So we do have a cycle coming up here. We're about to start our second half of spring, and then we'll we'll be admitting students for the summer and the fall as well.
Well, to our viewers, of course, we look at so many different options for your next steps, investing in yourselves, trying to track those careers and the possible sort of rewards and enjoyment that you'll get. Cody, on a personal level, thank you for the work that you do. National security and cybersecurity is really going to matter to everybody's welfare. Lisa, it was lovely to have you with us, find out a little bit more of the program, and knowing there are 5 start dates through the year, people will note that web address and be reaching out to you. So Cody and Lisa, thanks for the time and joining us at the Centre Court Masters Festival. It was great having you.
Thank you guys for having me.
Thank you so much, Matt.